Hey everyone, today I'm going to be presenting you video number 3, which is Windows and Linux tips and tricks. And this video is going to be brought to you by my YouTube channel, which is My Web University. So let's get started. I'm going to go through a slideshow. And then on this one, basically it's video number 3. You have already seen video number 1 and 2. Today, I'm going to be talking about video number 3 on Windows and Linux tips and tricks. These are the command line syntax and commandlets for PowerShell, as well as command line syntax or commands that are on Linux. So I'm going to be covering both of them on Windows PowerShell, as well as Linux Ubuntu virtual machine. And the first command that I'm going to be talking about is get alias. Get alias is a PowerShell command that shows all your aliases. The shortcut is called alias, and get alias is a commandlet in PowerShell. Alias is also a shortcut in PowerShell that you can type alias, and then you will get the same result that get alias does. Alias is also a Linux command. You can type alias, and then you get a list of all your aliases on Linux. Tree command is giving you a file system structure. Basically, on your system, sometimes you want to see the whole file system, whether it's directories and files. Recursively, you could see them in a tree kind of structure. And also, there's a process, a stream tree. This is part of Linux proc file system. The proc file system is a pseudo file system, which means that it's based on memory. So the file actually it's going to show the content is 0 byte, but because you're reading the content from memory, which is a proc file system or pseudo file system, the command process stream tree, pstree, will give you a tree structure like for the process. This one gave you for the file system tree. This one opposes for the process, pstree, process is stream tree. And that is giving you, this is also on Solaris command, and then on Linux. On the proc file system of Linux and Solaris, there's a lot of commands that are similar for handling the processes. Like the other command on video number 2 I covered was pwdx, print working directory of executable. Then there's pmap, there's pstack, pstop, preep, and all of those commands are very good file system or proc file system processes that you can control processes on a system. Get dash command on PowerShell is very, 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 very important command to know, and it's very useful command. This command, with this command, you can get a lot of information from PowerShell. There are thousands of commands, commandlets, applications, and functions and aliases. Get command could give you all that information. More than 5,000 or 10,000 commands, each one of them, you can get information about them. The other command is get help. Is very useful. Get dash command is very useful. And then get members is another one. The 3 of these ones, you can get everything about PowerShell that you need to know. Obviously, there's other commands that I'm covering that are all important, but this get command is about everything that you need to know about PowerShell. I had made one video about get command already a few months ago or last year. You should watch those ones. In addition, you should pay attention to all the different way of syntax that I'm introducing you tonight. Type is a command or alias that type and cat both on Linux, on Windows PowerShell type are pointing to get dash location, get dash content. Get dash content display the content of the file. Type and cat are both aliases to the get dash content. And then type is also a DOS or disk operating system command. And on top of type, you can also create a type command on Linux. And then there's type obviously is function in Python. So depending on what area you're using it, they have different meaning, different syntax. So you just have to be careful when you're looking at it. On Linux, equivalent to type is cat for concatenation. Obviously, PowerShell uses type and cat both for get-content commanded, which is on Linux that it tells you if the binary is installed on your path, and if you can find the binary, which is there. You can also create the alias. I'll show you how to create the alias for which using git command on PowerShell. So if you type in which get-command, then it shows you the path of get-command, and it tells you it's a commandlet. If you type in which notepad, it will say it's an application. If you type in which notepad it will say an application. If you type in which Word, for example, Microsoft Word, it will tell you the application. Which calculator, which notepad, which tree. Tree.com is also an application. Tree.com is has the extension is .com. It's written in assembly. It's very, very fast. So a lot like more.com is a file that is extension.com. It's assembly code. They are much, much faster to the .exact file. And then the .exact is much, much faster than PS1 or .batch file. So the order, if they have the same name, and any file that has tree.com will run first. Tree.exact will run second, and tree.batch will run third, something like that in the order. So which and where is another command. On Linux, you can use this one to find out the location of one or more files. So you can see where they are. What is just similar to info in man page. You can say, what is this command? Well, like, for example, you could say, what is file? What is cal? What is cat? What is date? All of those commands, what is, it shows you a short definition for the command. Locate is another one. Locate is just, let me put a comma here on this one, because between what is and cat, I did not put a comma. That's a separator, so I'm going to save it. And then right here, you have an option, say, go from the kernel. So now we're going to go back to the same page that we were doing, the same slide, when I was talking about what is and locate. Locate is also on Linux, that it could locate all the files, binaries, location, and then any name that you want to do. In addition, it tells you that user share man pages and all of that details there. Node.js is an application that you could use a Node for installing is Node JavaScript. That is JS stands for JavaScript. Is the server side of JavaScript. JavaScript runs normally on the client side, but they want to handle it on the server side. Then you have Node.js, and Node.js has npm, which is comes in when you install Node.js, or npm, that they both come in. npm stands for Node Package Manager. And then npx is similar to npm, but one is for installing software, like npm, and the other one is to execute it. That's why there's npx stand for a Node Package executable. And then normally you execute the package, because when you run this one, all you do is just, you don't have to install it. You can run it locally or globally using a Node Package executable. Or you could install it npm, and then the Node modules directory will be there. As an example, I will show you how to run npx with Fireworks on Windows and on Linux, and then how you just could install them, and where's the directory structure of Node.js when you install them. That's very important to know. And then this one you could run on Node.js or npm or npx, both on Linux and Mac and Windows. Mac is Unix, and Linux is whether you do it on Linux Fedora distribution, which is Red Hat, Rocky, and CentOS, and then, or you could do it on Debian distribution, which is Linux Mint, Linux Ubuntu, and so on. All of those ones, they support Node.js, so you can install them. And also Visual Studio Code is also the lightweight. Visual Studio Code, normally there's a heavyweight, which is the studio version that Microsoft has it, and there's a open source code of it called Visual Studio Code. The open source is free, and then you can get it from Visual Studio Code.com. You can get that one, and then you just install it. When you install it, basically, you have a lot of like code itself, you have it, and then you can, inside the code, you can run a lot of things that you normally build it. And then code is like Visual Studio Code is like IDE for Visual Studio. So within the code, I'll show you when you run code, basically, you get an integrated development environment, which is allowing you to write program in any source code, whether you write it in HTML, CSS, React, Python, JavaScript, you name it, C, C++, I said Node.js, anything that you do, you just install the extension and then you just start coding. And the extension gave you the option, for example, when you do Python, the IntelliSense, it's give you a lot of features. And then in addition, it gives you kind of command by tab completion. It also gave you parameter values for a function and so on. So there's a lot of neat stuff on the IDE. That's why it's called Integrated Development Environment. And then I'm going to show you some example of Python with that one, and some example of PowerShell. And the example that I'm using is both Windows PowerShell as well as Linux Ubuntu virtual machine. So let's get started with that one. And then last time we talked about video number 2, Windows and Linux tips and tricks. On this one, I'm just gonna go a quick summary to recap what we had covered on video number 2. It was get host, host ID, host CTL, pwdx. Like I mentioned, this one is a proc file system, print working directory of executable. For a process, you can just get the directory where it was started. Change directory and CD is the same thing in get dash location or change set dash location. Set dash location is the commandlet, and change dir and CD is aliases and PowerShell. On Linux, CD is the command. Make dir and MD on both of them are available, and you can use to make directories. Type is the command on PowerShell, and that is also an alias to get content, like I mentioned. And then similarly, cat is to concatenate on PowerShell. This is also the get dash content, and type is get dash content. These are two aliases that are pointing to get dash content commandlet. And then on Linux, cat stands for concatenation. You could create files similar to VI or Vim or ED or Emacs. You could also cat the content of it and see the content of it with different parameters, see line numbers, see invisible characters. You could do a lot of options with it. Notepad and Notepad++ we covered. This is simple. You can use Notepad, and Notepad+ is an enhanced version of Notepad++. These are both applications. Notepad comes with a Windows. Notepad++ is a utility that you can download and install. Code, I mentioned about the Visual Studio Code on video number 3, more in details today. We just barely hit the surface on video number 2. VI for Visual Interpreter, Vim for Visual Interpreter Improved, and octal dump, OD is octal dump. System info, and give you system information you can get on Windows and DOS and PowerShell. Run system info to get your CPU information, memory, that type of hardware that you have, all your resources, including the model, the architecture of your CPU, and what is the speed of it. And then also you can get the host name information. Also you can get operating system version. So CPU info is giving you, and this is part of proc file system. So if you say cat/proc/CPU info, it will give you the CPU information. Similarly, mem-info is part of the pseudo file system. And then these ones were covered also on Ubuntu virtual machine. So I'm going to be also covering a little bit on the summary part on video number 1, which was these commands: hostname, ID, get end, pwd. Pwd is print working directory, and then pwdx is print working directory for executable process, for process. This one is just show you where your current location. Pwd on PowerShell is also an alias to get dash location. And then on Linux, it's actually command, pwd. cd and clear command. We talked about cd and clear this. Linux clear Mac uses clear to clear the screen. On PowerShell, you can use the alias CLS to do the same thing. And also CLS is a DOS command also. And then on Linux, you can create an alias, which I could show you today, how to create an alias to point to something else. Uname is another command on Linux to tell you about the host name information, what kind of operating system you're running, what's your build version, what is your system name, what is machine type, all of that one I covered on video number 1. System information, also we covered it in both places, cat, calendar. Some of these ones I repeated because it was related to the same kind of topic that I was discussing, so I put them again to remind you again. Cal for calendar and date for showing date. PS is a command that is a get dash process is the actual command. PS is the alias to point to the commandlet on PowerShell as PS. And PS is also a Linux command, which is a binary command. ls and dir and get child item, they're all pointing to as alias. ls, dir, and get child item is GCI, and they're pointing to the get dash child item commandlet, and these are PowerShell commands. ls is also a Linux command. You can also create dir and get child item on Linux as aliases. Tree, we already talked about it, which give you this file system tree structure. Apt is Advanced Package Toolkit. It's also known as Application Package Toolkits because you're handling packages on Linux. This is on Ubuntu. On Red Hat, you have a YAM, DNF, and RPM equivalent to this one. On Ubuntu, you have apt and dpkg, which is Debian package, which is the mother of all the other packages on Ubuntu, and also apt Advanced Package Toolkit, and also snapd, snap for handling. The difference between apt and snap I mentioned to you. Apt is the package that have all the repository dependencies are met by this package handler. The snap is just actually is a containerized. Everything is a part of that one package. When you install it, all the dependencies are already containerized. It means it's already as one package. So if you install a snap as Firefox comes in, you don't have to go download something. But apt, on the other hand, for the apt repository, it checks it. For example, you install SSH. If it requires OpenSSL, or you install Apache, it requires OpenSSL for it, or any other packages, it will just download those dependencies also for you. And then if you don't find it on your system or globally, when you do the search, sometimes these packages have a recursive dependency. Make sure that the package or available for you before install it. And on Red Hat, when you use DNF and YAM, DNF is kind of enhanced version of YAM, Yellow Dog Update Manager. DNF is Dandruff, or whatever name that stands for. Doesn't matter, it's a Python 62-line code that does for Red Hat 8 and up. Everything else before that one on Red Hat 7 and CentOS and Rocky 7, we were using YAM. YAM is going to be end of life. You should use DNF. DNF is also symbolic link to DNF3. DNF3 is a 62 lines of Python code. So when you do the installation with DNF, if the package is not there, you could say DNF provides. Similarly to this one, you could do an app search and then find the package name and then install it. WinGit is package handler for Microsoft Windows, and you can just use this one to install packages, remove packages, everything from the command line. Laugh Out Loud Cat is a utility that also comes on Linux as a snapd package, as well as a module or package in Windows PowerShell that you can also get it on Windows DOS as a utility, also on PowerShell. Once you install it, it basically allows you to just get some kind of text information that you have, read the file in color, different colors, like rainbow kind of colors. But you can control the frequency of the colors and the type of colors with Laugh Out Loud Cat. Equivalent to this command or utility, there's also PowerShell called out-rainbow. Out-rainbow has similar flags or parameters that Laugh Out Cat does it, and you can enjoy it. So this is the Farsi version of my videos that I made for my fellow Afghan people, because I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan. I finished Habibia High School until 12th grade, and then after Russia invaded Afghanistan, I left in 1984, and luckily I survived through the mountains and everything. And then I ended up in New York. I studied my computer science college courses at City College of New York, played soccer for City College of New York. At the same time, I transferred to California, and then I finished my Bachelor of Science and Master of Science, both at Cal State University, Fullerton. And I taught courses there. I taught courses at National University, Pasadena City College, and then Cal State Fullerton for many years, and part-time while I was working full-time other jobs. So now I'm here to serve you with this information that I'm covering. You should be just happy to just say, this guy is just spending so much time to do all this research for 30 years, and now he's giving me as a gift everything for free. I don't expect anything from you. I just want you to pass on the knowledge to somebody who is in need more than you are. And by doing that, when you care about other people's, we have a better society around all of us. And I hope that you pass on the knowledge. You just don't keep information to yourself, because we all someday are not going to be here. The more people you help, the more better society we will have around us. So with that in mind, let's get started. And I'm going to start covering chapter 3, and these are the commands. So get alias, and tree, and pstree. Let's just talk about get alias first. Okay. So just to cover get alias, let me just open a PowerShell terminal, and then this is my PowerShell terminal. Obviously, you can just change the setting, the theme, and then everything else. At this time, I'm going to use this one for now. And you can see that I'm on PowerShell 7.5.3. So if I just say, okay, that's good, don't drop me on this directory, because this is too much information. I just want to say clear screen, and that's all. I'm on a PowerShell C colon. So at this time, if I say get -host, I could get that information myself, saying that I'm on a PowerShell version 7.5.3. At the same time, if I run this one as an object and say get -host, and then all of this one, so the get -host is a PowerShell commandlet that give you like a hash key, key pair value. So the key is name, the value is console host. The key is version, the version value is 7.53. If I want all the version, I could say get -host.version. If I want to get, like, for example, the major version, I type in that. So what I'm saying here is get -host is a commandlet. At the same time, it gives you a table of a hash key table that is key value pair. So version 7 console. So if I say git dash host and then type in the name, obviously what do I get? I should get the console host, right? That's the value. And that's what I get here. So this is good. Now, on earlier, I was telling you that I'm going to cover get dash alias. But while I'm showing you get dash alias, I want to show you get dash command. Because on my topics here, that I told you that get dash command is very important. Get dash alias is command, tree is command, alias. Watch how important this get dash command is. So I say clear screen. So I say alias clear. Notice that I type in clear the screen and I type in alias first, right? Then I say what is clear? It says clear is an alias that is pointing to the commandlet clear host. So if I say get dash command, and then I'd say clear itself, and then just say that one, it says, oh, this command clear is an alias, and that is there. Now, if I say get dash command, and then I type in clear dash host, that's not gonna give you much except saying that this is a commandlet and it's a function, the type of it, right? So the type of it is function, but I want to see the syntax of this one. If I didn't know the command was just clear screen, I could just say dash syntax, and now git command gave me the syntax. It says in order for you to clear your screen, you can just type in clear dash host and it will clear. But I told you that clear is also there. So if I just type in clear, it does the same thing. Now, if I just do alias CLS, then that is also pointing to clear dash host. So whether I type in clear or I type in CLS or I type in clear host, they all clear my screen. So let me type in clear screen and it does the same thing. That's the beauty of it, an alias, right? Alias CLS. Now, if I just say, for some reason, I just want to say, do I have an alias called C? There's no alias C, right? And then I say, okay, I want to just type in only one character C, and I want to clear my screen. Set dash alias C, and then clear dash host. So simple. Now alias C is defined. You just type in C and it will clear the screen. See how easy it was? So I told you to get dash command is very powerful. So how do I know that one is very powerful? Look, if I just do get dash command, and then I say, at this time, I want to see all the aliases and say command type, command dash command type, and then I just say alias. So I say every commanded or alias show me those lists, and then clear screen. So now I get the list of them. I could say find string /I, and then I look for the clear command. And notice all the command that are having the clear. The C that I just defined, it has the clear command. So this is another command, find a string, that could help you to just get more information out of one other command. This symbol is called piping. On both Linux and Windows, there's a lot of way of redirecting output. So this is the command that I'm running first. Then the output of this command is getting redirected. This pipe means that read all of this one, then filter it based on this string. Find the string /I clear, it's gonna just find the word string here. So if I do system info, watch, this is a lot of information, system information, right? That is a lot. But if I say, okay, run the system info pipe more, means one screen at a time show me. So now it is there, pipe more. Remember I showed you, say, get dash command. If I say more, what is that one? It says more.com. It's an executable and it's an application. So if I say get dash command 3, and .3 is also a .com application. So now if I say, okay, show me how many application I have, I could say get dash command type, and instead of alias, I could say show me all the application. So this is everything that you have on Windows System 32, all the executable files and the .com files are there. But now if I just say how many executables are there, I could say measure, there's a measure dash object, I'm gonna use the alias measure, and then dash line and give you a line number, how many of them are there. You could say alias measure, and you can see that's pointing to measure dash object. So whether you type in measure or measure object, it does the same thing. Now, if I just do the same thing and dash L for short of dash line, I could do the same thing here. So now notice that this is all the application. Earlier we said, show me all the aliases. So all the aliases, there are 735. If you want the list of them, you just press enter here. And then if you want a list of the application, let me just clear the screen again. And then if you want the application here, just type in application. And then this is application with ION. And then that would give you the application. So if I just want to say how many are there, measure dash L. That will be showing this one. If you want to say the application, we saw the application, how many functions are there? You can see that 3,320 of them. And then if we say, give me the all the function list, so I could see them, they're there. And if you say, how many commandlets are there, just say commandlet, and then you will get all the commandlet. And obviously, if you do a measure with it, you will get a total. So when I say there's a lot of them, obviously there's a lot of them. So if you don't define this one, notice that when you don't give any argument to the measure command, by default on the count, it just does a number of lines. Whether you type in like get dash command, measure dash line, it gives you 8,070, right? So if I just say without this, it's also give me a little bit more information, average other ones, but the top one is the number of lines that are matching. And you can also do short with dash L. Now, if I just say, okay, that is great. If I just have a file here, clear screen, I was talking about redirection, right? I say directory, and then I say, just do a more. So this is the directory command, but I'm doing a piping with more, meaning stop one screen at a time. So the directory listing is not that big. But if I say directory dash recurse, then I do this one, it's going to be a lot of things, right? So notice it's a lot, right? If I just do this one and control C out of this one and say clear screen here and say on my C drive, I want to do a word count on measure dash line to see how many files I have on the whole C drive. So it is saying permission denied on files that are not having administrative privilege. So on those ones, I can log in as a PowerShell as administrator and then run it, the same command, and the error will disappear. So watch this one. If I go to C directory user, go to my prompt, this is just saying because echo $ user profile, env : user profile is pointing to user Wahid. So if I go here under programs and then I say CD and then press enter, it will go there. And watch profile programs, and then I say CD to $env : user profile. It is telling get to just go to users Wahid. So that is similar to just by pressing, if I go here on the root and I just say CD is going to take me to $in V user profile. So how do I do a directory here? Notice this directory -curse measure here, it will not give me permission error because I am the owner of that directory structure user Wahid. But the other ones require the root. So watch, this is about 303,000 files, right? So that's a lot. And then if I just open a PowerShell by right-clicking here and say, run it as administrator, that's an option. You just say, yes, go ahead, give me administrator. Notice this PowerShell is different than this user profile PowerShell. This one is just giving me a PowerShell with regular user privilege of Wahid. Whatever this normal user is, which is normal, the other one is more powerful, right? Even though I'm dropped on the Windows System 32, it doesn't matter where it is. It just says that you have administrator privilege. That means if I run the same command here, and then I'm going to just go to the main directory where I was, a CD to root, and then say directory -recurse and then measure -l. Now we're not getting that permission denied because we have the higher privilege. So get child item access to the C program files Windows Defender. Yes, this is like a firewall defender. So that one, if I don't allow it, obviously it's not going to check on those ones. But doesn't matter. I could go to those directories and do certain things with them. And then if I the firewall is preventing it, that's good thing. That's good security. I don't want to just get the content of these ones on the listing here, right? So I'm going to go to, for example, Windows system, Windows C colon, Windows, and then system 32, and then I do a directory store.dll. Notice that many DLL files are there, right? So I could have done this one as a regular user also, and then do count on them. So I'm going to Control C out of it. There's a lot, and then you see that DLL is word count minus L, not word count. Sorry, word count. Notice it's not an alias, right? I have to do a measure. Word count is a Linux command. So if I just want to use this WC for this alias WC does not exist, but alias measure exists, and measure-object. So whether I type in measure or measure-object, it all works, right? It gives me the same number. But notice that alias word count does not exist. So now I'm gonna create a word count object. So let me go to the, I'm gonna stay here on this directory. I say set alias and then word count, and then I'm going to say that is going to be doing the measure-object. Measure-object. So you point it to the commandlet. Now alias WC word count is there. So if I just up arrow this command, and then instead of this one, just say do a word count on them, and it's going to work. How easy it is, right? The integration of PowerShell and Linux, and it's going to give you a lot of stuff. I was telling you, let me exit out of this one. You don't need to see that one. I was telling you that, for example, system info, and then you say, let me find out the find string /I, and then find out the memory, how much memory I have. You could just get that information right away here that way. If you say, give me the OS name, then you get the operating system. If you want one-line information rather than all of this, because this one is like egrep, which is extended global regular expression print for Linux. On Windows, this is find string is equivalent to that. And then the find command, on the other hand, is similar to grep command on Linux, which is global regular expression print. This one, when you do it, it matches this as one string. It does not care about the OS. So it matches exactly this. And then /I is going to say ignore case. So it's going to find out, and it gives you one line that says you have Microsoft Windows 11. That's the difference, okay? So the find a string, I was showing you the piping. But now if I just say here, clear screen, directory star.txt, do I have any file called star.txt? Now, test1 is there, right? So if I say type test1 dot type test1.txt, and then you can see it is just those many lines, right? And then if I just say, okay, send this one and then to a file, this greater sign means that make a copy of this one, the whole content of what is on the screen here, and send it to the next file, say test2.txt. So it's this one is type test2.txt is the same thing as test1 now. Dir of test1.txt and test2.txt, they're both the same file, the same size, the same thing. So if I just say, okay, dir test1.txt and then dir test2.txt, I could do that one, but I could also put a question mark for regular pattern matching for regular expression, and it will find both of them. Or I could just say anything that starts with T, just show me all the with the extension of .text. You could do a wildcard, meaning that map more than one character. So this is very neat. We just use the greater sign to just create the file. If I want to say something on file 2, say echo my $sign profile information, this is that. Then I could say append this one to the end of test1.txt. Now, dir of t star.txt, there are two files, but not test1 grow because of this redirection. I was telling you about piping. One of the piping is the exclamation mark, the bar like this. That's an OR statement in most programming language. Also a piping symbol. This greater sign means create the file. If it exists, override it. This double greater sign means append to the end of it. So right here I appended, meaning that this variable that I pointed here, it appended to test1. Now if I say type test1.txt, and then you can see that character was there. At the same time, if I say alias type, this pointing to the get content, like I mentioned earlier. At the same time, alias cat is pointing to the get content. So all of these commands are very, very useful. And if you just want to do something like other than that, you just create your own alias. So like pwd is pointing to get dash location. If I say alias pwd, then I am having that one. And remember, I was telling you that alias give you all of the commands, right? List of all the commands and commandlets. So if I say alias and then say a word count minus L, because word count minus L is still not here because I created somewhere else. Maybe I exit out of that one. So this one is measure and dash L, and it will tell you 141. If I just say set alias word count dash measure object, now I do the alias with word count, it will just tell you the same number. This alias now exists, word count. Okay, and notice that this alias, when I say get alias, there's a lot of commands with set alias, new alias, and so on. So if I just want to create a new alias for print working directory, and then I say, okay, let's do this one. Is there an alias called current working directory? No. Then I'm going to say new dash alias current working directory, and then get dash location. That's there. Net new alias, and the typo you have to correct it, and now the alias is there. New current working directory alias is there. So now if I say pwd is there, alias and current working directory is there, so I could type in current working directory. It works like get dash location. Get dash location works the same way. Pwd works the same way. So we just created that one. Now I'm going to show you the usefulness of get dash command. Let me do that. So you say get dash command, get dash location. This is the command that is giving you get dash location. And then dash syntax, you can get all the syntax of how get location can be used. Similarly, if you just say get location, give me the get dash command itself, you can get all that. Notice the command grows in the objects that are there, what are the properties of it, what are the methods. There's a lot in it. So if I just say, instead of this one, I could say, give me the members. Let's say I do this one and then a pipe symbol and say get dash member. So then there's a lot of information here. So if at this time, if you just say, well, that's nice, can I filter it further, say, give me a format list on it. Notice that it grows, right? Format list, it grows a lot of them. But this is for commandlets, because these are commandlets. If you do that one for application, now if I do this one with other command, like this one, and I say, be careful on this one, because if you do that one and you try to get objects that are there, you might get information out of it or not. So when you do this one, type more, you can see that some objects you have values like this is properties of it. Sometimes you have properties, sometimes you have methods. So if a method, you have to use it like a function. And then, for example, let me just show you one thing on a string. So if I just go here on this one and say echo, this is the environment, and then say this is the value for it, right? And then at this time I say make this one all uppercase. So I have to say give me the method of it. For short, you can type in GM for get method, and it will tell you all the method. And notice to lower to upper, all of those ones are there. So I'm going to just say this and then find the string /I, and I say to upper. If there's anything with upper, yes, there's a function to upper. So you could just say this, instead of doing all this, this string itself is a, you can write it as an object. When you do this one, you can write it as object. So now it's going to just write the value of it as that. Then you say dot, and then at this time, you could use the method to upper. So that's to upper, and then just use it as method. Everything changed to upper. If you want to use the method to lower, and then just use the to lower, it will change it there. So how easy it is. PowerShell is very, very powerful, very, very easy. It's object-based, and it has properties, attributes, and methods. So for a given scenario, you could apply so many things. As an example, let's say I say 1 to 100, and then do a for each statement. And now I say this $sign underscore is a pointer to each one of these numbers between 1 to 100. It is just kind of like a iterator that it goes through the loop and for each, and it just says hello world 100 times. But 100 times is too many of them. I could even do that one and say do out dash rainbow, and then do that one all in color. So look at how fast it is there. And then if you just do that one, you could just say, let's just change it to like 10 digit or 5 digit. I'm going to do a 5. 5 is good enough. So between 1 to 6. So it's going to just do those numbers, right? And then notice that out dash rainbow, it does it. You could do dash A for animation, and it will just do one color at a time. I'm just giving you some kind of options here. You could just play around with it, right? And then you could do different colors. So if you just want to say, give me in frequency, dash frequency of 1.00, some number. Doesn't matter what number, you could just get a different type of setting. If you want it all green, for example, you could say 0.001 and then it will change it. So it's your choice how you get these options to have some fun at the same time while you're doing that, right? So at the same time, let me just show you some more on get dash command, because I told you that. So tree command, for example, here, if I say tree command, how do I use it? It says tree / question mark. It says, if you want to get the files, you could do this one. If you want to get /a, you get this one, right? So now if I say, yeah, give me this one for all files. So if I'm here and I want to get only the user Wahid program files, I could say tree C:/ user / Wahid / programs, right? And then that would give me a tree structure. Notice how fast it's going, and then it gives me a tree structure. But if I say, give me the same one with /f for files, and then you could just get files included there. This one is going to be longer than the other one because the other one ran in the directory. So if I just say, well, just do this one for Python, everything that I have under Python, do that one, and it's much faster. And now if I say, run the laugh out loud cat, their command, and do it in color. And it says laugh out cat, do out - rainbow. It's your choice how you want to get these data. You could play around with it, right? So we did show you a number of these commands already. I'm going to just get alias, and then alias, I'm going to also cover it on Linux. Okay, for the alias, get alias and alias, to get a list of what are available on commandlets. Available here, you say get dash command, and then just say dash name. You could say name and then say get dash alias. For example, you get that one only. But if you want anything with start, put a wildcard here, say matching anything with alias, you just do the syntax, and it will give you anything with dash name that start with anything and then followed by alias, followed by anything. So whether it's disable Azure RM alias or enable Azure RM, or get dash alias and export dash alias and so on. So the thing that I'm going to cover also, when you do this one, say, let me exit out completely here, and I just open it as a default one. You need to know one variable here, which is $PowerShell PS profile, and then also PS item and the other one. So I'm going to say CD back here, clear screen. I'm going to say echo $PS home. This is a PowerShell home directory that when I just open the PowerShell, it's going to drop me there. So if every time I click on this one to open another PowerShell, notice it's going to drop me on my user home. And if I just close this one and close this one and just click on here, it's going to drop me to PowerShell home the minute that opens it, right? So let me click on it. Okay, you see that? And then this is equivalent to the $PS home. And whether you write PS home in uppercase or lowercase, these variables or in Windows are not case sensitive, but on Linux it is. So if a variable is in Linux, you type in uppercase, it's different than lowercase or one character being different. On Windows, it doesn't care. If I just type in this one lowercase, doesn't matter. Okay, so PowerShell home is this PowerShell home, but echo the $ profile, the $ profile is going to show you what's your profile. If I do a dir on this one, by default, this one doesn't exist. I say dir $ profile, this file doesn't exist. You see, because it doesn't exist. But I can create this one with just exporting all my aliases and then use that one as an alias to import. Or I could use another file, but notice the difference, okay? So I could use here, say, go to this directory here. I'm gonna say get dash alias, alias. This is gonna give me all the aliases, and I say how many of them are there. Measure dash L. There are 140 of them. And do I have an alias called a current working directory? No. So I'm going to define that current working directory to point to get dash location. I'm going to say set dash alias, alias, and then or new alias you could do a new alias, and then say set dash alias current working directory get dash location. So now alias current working directory is this. Already there, current working directory works like get dash location does, and does same thing with pwd. So at this time, I type in get dash location, it gives me the prompt as well. But notice my alias and then measure dash line, it gives you one more there. If I say give me all the list alias, and you can see that the alias, and then find the string /i, and then current working directory, you can see that I have it. I can just say also alias current working directory, and that is pointing there. But if I exit this session, it's gonna disappear. Watch, I go here, exit, and then I come back here. I come back here because that $sign profile does not exist, and my the alias, the difference between Linux and PowerShell are not much. But on a Linux, you have a .bash or C if you're using bash, and .ksh if you're using kernel shell RC, and if you're using zsh is .zshrc, and on PowerShell is one variable called echo $sign profile. So this file, if I just do directory of it, $sign profile, does not exist. So I'm going to create that one with alias. Now, if I say alias current working directory, you should guess that it's not, doesn't exist, because I just restarted the terminal. That was not exported into my profile. So I'm going to say new alias. Whether you use new alias or set dash alias, you're creating a new alias that doesn't exist. So now I'm just doing current alias. So current working directory is defined. Now if I do alias and then measure, I should get 141 again. Now that one is there, so let's just do one more thing here. I'm going to say this time I'm going to export this current alias that are there into this file. So I'm going to say export dash alias $sign profile, meaning that write the content of the aliases that are there, 141 of them, into this file. So let's see if it did create it. You can say dash path and then profile, that would also work. But some of the optional command arguments are optional. If you don't type it, they assume that you're typing at this path that are there. So this path is that. Now, if I do that command that earlier dir profile was not working, now it should work. So because that file actually exists, you can see here, right? So earlier we were getting error, now we're not. And it says that is the file. So now if I say, oh, okay, go ahead, cut that file, $sign profile, okay? So it gives you a list of them. I'm gonna come here, it doesn't matter because echo $sign profile, it does not matter where you are because it still say cat profile, and it will just do that one. So now if I just say, is the current working directory is there, I could just say find a string /i, and it says yes, it is there. Don't do this one the other way around. If you do the other way around, watch what happens. And say find a string /i, and then on the file name. So what is the name I'm going to look for? Let's say I'm going to look for current working directory. On what file? On the profile, $ profile. It says that find a string warning input file. This one is a Unicode format, meaning that you can cat the file, then pipe it to find a string, and it will help you. If you do a type instead of cat, it will still do. If you do a get dash content, it will still do. Look, get dash content, it will still do the same thing, or cat or type, because all of them are pointing to that one alias. So the order of how you put it into the piping, meaning that depending on what is the Unicode file or text file and how you search for it, it's different syntax, different arguments. So here, if I say type also works. So now I say alias type is pointing to get content, alias alias cat is pointing to that one, and alias actually the commandlet get dash command and then get dash content is pointing to that one. So notice that all of them are there. The other thing that I want to show you is, for example, for Notepad or calculator or executable, some files are executable, which meaning that their application. For example, get dash command, I say Notepad plus. So if I just want to start Notepad plus, here I say echo $env colon path. And if I have the Notepad plus in the path, all I could do is type in Notepad plus here, like Notepad plus, and it will just start the application like that it did right here. So then I could say, okay, that is good. Can I just resize this one? I will just leave those two on top of each other so you can see both of them. And can I just do a process on this one and then kill it? So I could say PS Notepad plus, and then now notice if I just do this one, it's not, it just shows it. It just knows that this is Notepad plus there, because the path is there, the executable. But I could also say, for example, get dash command Notepad plus, and then I say what type of file it is. Notice that it has this information, but you don't have more detail like path name and file name. There's other command with get dash command that you could do, like for example, say format list and then a star. This gives you a lot more. Notice there, it's a lot more information. If I go up arrow here with not up arrow and use the arrow, it's like a lot of details, like help URL and then file version information and path and then extension and so on, the name and everything. So if I just do that one and then say, now do another command which is called select dash object, and then I want to get the name of the command, comma, and then separated by path, which is this path information, and maybe extension .exec. Those three, it's a extension. And notice how nice it is. No, it did not give you that information. Name, path, and extension. Did I type in anything? I'm going to just only get name, see if it finds anything, nothing. So let me just say, for this one, I'm going to change it to Notepad, and Notepad is not giving anything either. So get dash command and Notepad, that is the one, and then I say file list, and then let me just say file list here, no star, and then say and get, what did I type in earlier? Let me make sure this, yeah, I see it says select object. Select object is select object. Might not be select object. Let me try that one. Select It's not selected string. It's not selected. Select object is the right one. But why is it not giving? Earlier I did this one and I saw this one. Let me just check something here. 1 second. Okay, so this one is basically, I figure out another way you could do the same thing. So Notepad++, if I just do without find a string, I could just say, give me all the list of them with 5 more. And then you can see on this one, it just tells you that you have the help URI, which is no value file version information, which is this one, and then path extension. Each one of them has a key pair value there, right? So you could get that one, but then you could say, okay, I'm going to use the find string and search for these two. You can see that I'm going to find the path as well as the name, whatever it is. And then if I want to see the extension, obviously, I just separate it with extension here too, and that will give me extension as well there. So like .exec here. Similarly for the Notepad, we did it for Notepad, you could do it for tree command. And that would be, and the extension would be .com. So let's say I do it for tree, and you can see that that is a .com extension. The path is there. If I just do it for more, the extension is also .com, but the path of it is for more.com, which is on Windows System 32. So notice that this is information is very useful. So if I clear my screen here and then do this one for more, then at the same time I say, give me for example, a Microsoft Terminal Service Console, which is the remote desktop, Microsoft Terminal Service Console. You can see that one is also .exec. And this is the executable. So if I type in Microsoft Terminal Service Console here, it will just open the remote desktop, which I'm going to just go to the Linux machine here to show you the aliases. But before I do that, when I want to show you, finish up with the profile. So now I did the alias. If I say alias, because I open new terminal, the alias are not there, right? The alias are only measure what I had originally 140. The alias I created, alias current working directory is gone. It's no longer on this session. So how do I take that one? Remember, we created this echo $ profile. That one is there. Inside this one, cat $ profile, and then find a thing, and it is there. So in order for me to do that one, I could say import alias $ profile. Now the contents of every alias file that already exists, it comes and says these already exist. The last one that is not there, it will be imported. So if I say do this one, it is showing, and also the echo alias major 141 now, and also alias current working directory is pointing there. So we just restored it from the profile. And then if I do current working directory, that alias there. Now I'm going to show you the same thing alias on Linux platform. But this was all on Windows and PowerShell. So let's get to Linux. I have already logged into my Linux server, which is the MyWebUniversity.com web server. So I'm going to log in there. First command that I'm going to cover here is the alias command. So on Linux, you also have alias command. So if I say which alias, you can see the alias is not there. But if I say alias, it's an alias pointing to these aliases, whichever one you want to use. For example, alias ls give you a long listing, ls with color. So if I say ls, it's going to just show the directory structure in color. If I just say ls -l, it shows the files with long listing there. So alias clear screen is not there. Alias clear is not there. I could create them. So if I say alias clear screen is equal the command clear. You could type in clear here, and that would just do that. So if I type in CLS, now that's clear the screen. Alias CLS, now it is there. If I close this session and reopen another one, it's not going to be there because this is not on my bash or C. So last video I covered get end pass WD, the username. So if you're logged on as Wahid, you just do that one, or you could say $, left parentheses, ID-UN, it will do the same thing, ID-UN, and then parentheses, and then it will show that Wahid is logged on. You can also do get end password, backtick, and then say ID-UN with a space here, and then close it, and that would give you the same information. So if I say ID-UN also gave me that user is Wahid. ID-A gave me all parameters for my user. ID-G gave me my group name. My group number. ID-GN gave me my group name. So now I know that who I am. You could say, who am I? It's funny, some people say, oh, I know who I am. Why do I have to type it in? But Linux is funny. It says, who am I? And you could say ID-A. If I log in through SSH, who am I with the spaces, it would tell you the IP address where you came from. But if you just type in who am I, or who is going to give you all the users that are logged on. W is also similarly give you those ones. There's a lot of commands you can learn, but this is just basics of Linux I just showed you. So now I'm going to just say alias clear. So which clear command? You can see file user ben clear is a command. My keyboard is a little bit funky. Some key stick in, some of them they don't. So notice it changed to uppercase. So I'm gonna just say clear like that. Not file. Somehow there's an extra D here. That's why. Clear screen, and then file user ben clear command would tell you that it's an executable link format. ls minus ld user ben clear, it will tell you that it's a sorry, there's a typo here, user, and that will tell you it's a binary, right? So how do I take care of the clear command versus clear? So I could say clear, it will do that clear screen, pwd ls minus l, and then pwd and clear screen, it will do date, calendar, and then clear screen, it will do it. Date, calendar 19099, and then just say, show me that one, or calendar 19070, the epoch Linux calendar, it will show you this one. Then you could say clear or clear screen, it will clear for you. So you could also do ls minus l here, and then do control L. That's a short form for it. I told you that you could also say ls minus l and then say alias C is equal user, you could say user ben clear. And now if I type in C, it will clear it. Alias C, sorry, alias C, it's showing that one. And C by itself clear the screen, right? So how easy is that one? But then if I say, okay, now let me close this one. I open a new terminal right here, right click, open new terminal. Let's see if my information stayed there. So I'm gonna say CD here, clear screen here, and make the size a little bit bigger. Now you can see it better. I could say alias, and then I want to see if alias CLS is there or not. Alias CLS is gone. Why? Because I did not write it in my bash or C. Remember I said get end password Wahid will tell me that my shell is ben bash, which I highlighted there. Echo $shell, shell, well, an uppercase shell, you have to type in all uppercase shell because Linux is case sensitive. So now you see ben bash, right? At this time, echo $0 also shows my bash. PS also shows my bash. So I am using bash, right? You can tell. Echo $, is pointing to the process ID of that one. So if I say PS3, remember we talked about 3 and PS3. Now I'm going to show you PS3 of this one is just showing you the current shell, right? So you can get all that information here. At the same time, if I say PS3 $, then it's going to show the bash invoked PS3. So if I say go to kernel shell here, now PS here, I'm on kernel shell. So if I say PS3 and $, it says that kernel shell invoked PS3. But if I want to see process stream 3 of and the first one, which is the bash, and it's 7289, and then that one it says bash invoke kernel shell and invoke kernel shell invoke that one. So pwdx of $, it says that it's invoked from home Wahid. But bash process ID of it echo not echo pwdx of 7289, that one was invoked from root or from Wahid also. And those ones are the proc file system, those process. So ls minus l proc and then $, would be the current stuff and information. There's a lot of details in there, the stat file and then the file descriptors and then current working directory. Everything is on this proc file system. But let's cover alias more. So if I just say, okay, do I have an alias here called CLS? No. Sorry, alias CLS? No. So how do I create one? It says alias CLS and then is equal and then run the command clear command. And now CLS is there, clear the screen, alias CLS is there. But if I just say, no, let me unalias this one, unalias CLS, unalias CLS, and then if I say clear screen, it says no, not found. So I told you that my bash is, prompt is ben bash. I'm going to look for a file on my home directory called bashrc. .bashrc. This file, when you do ls minus l, you're seeing when you gave it an exact name. Otherwise, if you do ls minus l, you don't see the .bashrc. In order to see that one, ls minus la, a shows all the hidden files that has the extension dot. So if I just say vim.bashrc, and then this is the file that has all my aliases, all my other commands on the script called bashrc. Bash stands for my shell, and RC is for run control. If you are on core shell, it will be .kshrc. If you are on zsh, it is .zshrc. If you are on true C shell, it will be .tshrc. If you are on C shell, it will be .cshrc. Those files are very important. So here I'm going to come search for alias. Alias on the slash you type in, and then it's going to look for wherever you have the word alias, right? So let me just see if I could go on the top line. I'm going to do escape 1 colon 1. I can't see well because of this Zoom is blocking me. Okay, so I'm going to just resize this window a little bit. That way I can see it better. I'm going to do this, and then I think the size, I'm going to do it right here. So now I have it up to here. It's much better to see it. Now I'm going to say go to the first line, And then here, the line numbers are already on there. If I search for it, I say escape slash, and then I type alias. I have to write alias in lowercase, and now it's going to find all the aliases. Earlier, my keyboard, I told you, is funky, and then I just jumped in. So now here, all these other ones, I'm going to just add by pressing escape O, adding a new line here, say alias CLS is equal user bin clear command. I could just type in simply clear, that would work also, and I could put it into the code. All of the syntax would work. So I'm going to just do the shorter form because the other ones are there to be consistent. I'm going to do this and then just type in that, and then here I'm going to also create an alias called Python. Alias, I'm going to just make it short P, is equal Python 3. Okay, so now I made those aliases. So I'm going to save it. Now, if I say alias here, the alias is very small. Alias here is those ones. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to run my .bashrc here, which is sourcing it, bashrc, and now and say some typo, cannot open no such file. So why is that? Bash rc. Okay, so something is missing right here. Let me just see. ls-l.bash rc. That file is there, vim.bash rc. And right here, it does not say anything, cannot open no such file or directory when the .bash rc is there. And then you couldn't source it. I think it is because of my shell. Okay, yeah, because remember I went to different shell. I'm on corn shell, so I'm going to exit out of it. Now I'm on .bashrc. Now .bashrc here is there, so I'm going to vim.bashrc here, and then modify this one with alias to make sure that the change that I did was on the corn shell. And this one is there and Python is there. So that's good. It is there. I'm going to save this one, WQ, clear screen, and I say alias. I get a bigger list than before, but Python 3 is there, and then clear screen is not there, right? So if I say alias CLS is not there, but P is there. P dash dash version will tell you as you're running Python dash dash version. So alias P is working, right? So in order for me to just get the clear command, I could say grep -i CLS on .bashrc. Did I define it? Yes, I did define it. So now I'm going to source it .bashrc, and it will source it correctly. And now if I say up arrow here, grep -i CLS is there. So now if I say CLS, it's going to clear the screen. And then if I just do alias here, it will be all of them, including Python. That's how you do it. So if you just do another alias like Python itself is to be pointing to Python 3, that also would work if you just type in Python to get into Python. And here you could say for, let's say num and let's say 10 numbers, right? You could say 10 numbers from 0 to 1. Let's just start from 1 to 10 and increment by 1 mathematically. And then I say print, and then we say the format is string, F string, and then double quote, and we say $sign, I'm not $sign num because it's Python, colon, and we say hello, and then world. So now you just running Python script with that information and then closing it and run it, and it just says hello world 1 to 10. If you just say, okay, the for statement, we want to say in range of this one, range of that one, and then do this print statement. Now you just get exactly 1 to 9 there. If you want to include the 10, obviously, you just change it to 11. The number is not included. So that's why. And now it's included. And then if you want to do the same command with other syntax, like zsh here, and say sequence of 10 will give you 1 to 10. You could say for num and then backtick sequence 10, and this one will just give you that sequence. Then you say do and say echo, and then you could say, for example, $sign num colon hello world, and then you don't have to do new line characters echo, automatically does it for you. So then say done. And now it does 1 to 10, all of that. And if you say, this is nice, can I just do a pipe here and say, laugh out loud cat? Yes, you could do that one. And if you say, can I do the same thing with -a for animation? Yeah, one screen at a time, and it will just do that one. Obviously, you can do more of those commands here with this kind of for statement. And if you do the same thing and say, while you're doing this one, and then do a sleep 1 second in between, and then just say, run the date command, and then after that one, just run the next command. So every time it gives you a date, and then it runs the next hello world, and it pauses 1 second. So programming is very easy. You could do a lot, and just have to practice it, like math, right? The more you blow under the fire, the more stronger the fire becomes. Math, physics, chemistry, computer science, they're all similar. The more you practice it, the much easier it becomes, and you code it right away in there. So Alias, we covered it there. Let me see what I have not covered here. Get alias, and 3 command I'm going to show. pstree I'm going to show. Get command, we did a lot. Type which and where is and what is and locate are all command on Windows. Linux. So I'm going to say which pwd, which calendar, which date, which basically tells you where the binary is, right? If I want to do the which equivalent on PowerShell, you could just come in on PowerShell and say, if I want to get here, say alias which is not there. Get dash command which is not there. So it doesn't come with PowerShell. But if you want to make it like kind of impersonate or make that one mimic it the way you want to do this one, you could say, okay, create a new dash alias, and then which, and then assign it to this get dash command. Okay, and that is again, somehow my keyboard is the character is missed. So right here, when you do this one, a new dash alias, which get dash command, the alias is not allowed because we already created it. So now alias which is already created. If you just say new, that's the difference between new and set. If I say set, this one is going to set the value of it, and then whether it exists or not, that's the difference. So earlier when I said new and alias, and they are doing the same thing. New alias, if it doesn't exist, it creates it. Set alias, it just sets the value for it. It doesn't care if it is already there. If that one was assigned to something else, it's overwritten with the new command. Okay, so for example, if I say set current working set alias current working directory to Wahid, it doesn't matter what I type it in now and say alias current working directory, and then if I run current working directory, it's not gonna do Wahid. Wahid, it's not a command. But if I change Wahid to now with this one to pwd, and then I say current working directory, it will do that one. So what you set it to, the meaning has to be equivalent to what you wanted to do it. It has to be meaningful rather than meaningless. Like current working directory should not be pointing to Wahid, right? But then you could just say, okay, we created which. If I say which notepad, now I should get the same thing as I've typing about git command notepad, right? And then if I just have other argument to it, like git dash command notepad dash syntax will give me syntax of notepad.
It sounds like you're asking about a command for a
One second.
possibly referencing a get command in Ubuntu. Please rephrase your question.
Okay, somehow and the AI stuff on my cell phone just kicked in for no reason. Okay, so if you do this one, notepad dash syntax, you can see that it is giving you the syntax of it. And then if I just do the same thing, which a notepad dash syntax, because we replaced which to get dash command, it does exactly the same thing. So if I just say notepad dash, you have to do verification for more than just one thing. So now if I say here, FL, give you a longer list of file list, right? This one, if I just say now which notepad, then followed by a pipe file list, I get the same result. So we did mimic get dash command to using which here. So back coming on Linux, you could say which, let's say date command, which let's say another command would be like apt, which snap deep, which snap, which laugh out loud cat. All of these one that tells you the path to the binaries. So if I want to run the laugh out loud cat command, I could say laugh out loud cat command etc os-release. This one is going to just give me that file, and every time I do it, they're different colors. Notice here. If I just say, well, that's good, but I just don't like it like that. I want it with the frequency of -f. So to make it all green, I could say 0.0001, and then now that did not do it. So lowercase f, it does not mean anything. It's uppercase f. Maybe it is not there. So laugh out loud cat. And let's see what is the syntax minus -- health. And it tells you that there's a -f for a frequency, and then -frequency option also there to the file. So I tried it with -f, it did not work. Oh, there's a space here. That's why the problem, I did not put a space between these two. Because frequency, you cannot put like that, what I put earlier. Right here, there was no space, and once you put the space, it would work, okay? So that one is the frequency. You could also say -a, and then you see os-release. That will tell you in an animation kind of format there. And then at the same time, you could do another laugh out loud cut. While the animation is coming, you could get it in a different color. Let's see, you could do another pipe, say laugh out loud cat minus a minus frequency 0.001. And then this one is going to show it green right away. It is not going to go in animation because one overrides the other one. But you saw the chances that are there. So PS3 $1 is the process stream 3 of the root, right? So if I just say, what is the system D process here, PS minus EFA, grep minus I1, this is the system D processes. So you can see system D processes all start with 1. So all of these processes are the system D processes. And then you can do top also to get the system processes. Every process that is process ID 1 or the system D processes. And then you could also do PS3 clear screen, PS3 1, and you could get that information. And then do a 5 more here. And you can see that it start from system D here. And these are all child processes. You can also do PS3 with minus P for all the process numbers. The child process are there. So if I do this one instead of process, you could do a Actually, pstree is the one that I was going to show you. pwdx of 1, that will show you permission denied. But if I will do sudo in front of it and type in my password as root, then you can see the pstree. It says that it started from a root directory down. And then pstree of 1, you can see is with the p with all the process threads with chalked threads here. If I just say, okay, 5 more, 1 screen at a time, system D has a process ID 1, then it invokes 1417, and 1417 has these other child processes, 1430 and so on. So if I just want to see that 1417 only, I could say pstree 1417 here. And that would say, and that process is started the node manager or whatever that name is, model manager. I can hardly read it from here that far. I'm too far from the screen. So you can tell that is very good. Now, with the pstree, you can also do pstree like this, gives you the process. You can also get the threads number. So for each process that it invokes other threads, you could get the thread number also there. So that is there. And then obviously you can pass on these ones to laugh out loud cat to get a colorful information there as you want. And if you want it all in green, again, minus frequency 0.001, it will give you all green in the colors there. So what else? pstree, the tree command. The tree command, so if I'm just here, similar to pstree that shows you the process tree structure, you could get the file system structure. So if I go to my current directory home, if I do ls -l, you can see all of these files. But if I want to get a tree structure of it, you could do something like this: tree dash dash f is equivalent to /f of PowerShell. Dash a is equivalent to /a. So on this one, if I say tree /?, and it tells you that this one is not there, but you can say man tree, and it will give you the syntax, all of them by one command at a time. Remember, I was telling you also there's command like info tree, man tree, all of these ones. Whatis tree. There's another command that I told you. Whatis calendar. Whatis pwdx, pwdx. Whatis let's say whatis pstree, right? Whatis if the command does not have anything appropriate, because I type in whatis pstree, I type p3. There's no command as p3. But if you do pmap, process map, that process is still there. It tells you what is there. And if you do man what is pmap, it will tell you pmap. So a lot of good details are everywhere, depending on what you're looking for. Let me just see what other things I have not covered. Type, which, where is, what is, locate, and then we jump into Node.js and PX and Visual Studio Code. This video is going to be longer than what I thought. Okay, so let me just cover them. I'm going to cover locate, and then we jump into Node.js and PM and PX, Visual Studio Code. Python, we did cover a little bit. We could cover more. So on Python, whether you're on Windows, you could run the Python command. Let me just cover Python on both clear screen. Here you say Python, and then right away you get in Python. If you do a dir, it's a list of objects and there. So if I say I want to run a list of operating system command, here when I do this one dir, notice my list only has the list of available objects. But if I say import OS, now operating system dir, it says this module OS is also loaded. Then if I say import sys, the sys object is also loaded. The module, not object, module or OS module. So now if I say os.system and I say give me the name of the machine, which is system info, and then run the command find, and then search from /i, and then say OS name. Let's see if we could just get that information from here, and right away you see that it works. So we run the system information and then that. But if I just replace this command with a command like dir command is going to give me the directory. And then if I say get child item, get child item is not recognized. Why? Because get child item is an alias to get dash child item. Even if I type in get dash child item, it does not work. Why? Because I need to get into PowerShell, not on DOS. Over there, I'm running the disk operating system command. So I'm going to say run the PowerShell command and then run the get child item. And if I just change that one to GCI, it is there. So now I'm going to create some commands, a list here, and say, let's just run 5 commands or 3 commands here with a stream, and then just do the same thing. So I'm going to say clear screen here. If I just say CLS, it works because that's the DOS prompt. So here I say, let's create a commands is equal, and then the list of command that I want to create as a list, I'm going to say, I'm going to do the date command, which is there, and then also host name, and then also another command is called, let's see what other command. I'm going to do dir command. Those 3 commands works, right? So I say now say for CMD and commands, just print CMD. This one is going to say my list is those commands. But this time I'm going to say for CMD and commands, and instead of doing that one, I'm going to run the same command here and just say os.system and then run the CMD. But move this one for character here to indented right, and then say go ahead, run it. And now says, okay, the first command was date, and then the second command was host name, algorithm, and the output of that one is there. But notice these zeros here. So in order to do this one, you could also do OS piping, like p open functions on this. So I could say for commands and this do, and then say stream is equal CMD. I need to do os.popen, the popen function, pipe open, popen. I'm going to use that one, and then the argument that I'm passing is CMD here. So I'm going to put it on the stream. Then I put output is equal, and then I say stream dot read function, and then say print, and then I'm gonna say here f string, and then say double quote, and say the command, the output is here is I'm going to say CMD, which is the command. Let's just put the command is, the command is, and then dollars to this, and then here I could say that's good, the command is, and then right here, and then close it, and then the output we're going to say print f, print not f, print, and then f string, and then say the output is, and then $ output. So percentage out. That one is gonna get that value and close it and then do it. Now let's see if this command works or not. For CMD and commands, what is happening here? Some character I did not close it. And let me see here. I did this one. Close it here. Stream read. A stream for commands and commands. Stream OS P open. And then I just did that one output. Oh, I just needed to press enter, that's all. So you can see here, the command worked, everything syntax wise correct. It read this command into the pipe, then it does the stream, and then the stream is read, and then puts that value to output, and then later on it says the command is, the first command was date, and the output is, and then the date output here. Similarly for other ones there. So if you just define this function here, and then you do the same thing on Ubuntu, let's just do it on Ubuntu and see how it works. So we're gonna test that one on Ubuntu and Python here. Okay, so I'm gonna say Python to get into Python, and then I say commands is equal, and then use the array. This one I'm gonna do a pwd. I'm gonna do calendar, and then I can do date. These three commands is good enough. So now say for CMD and commands, then say print just a command. You'll get a list of them, and you can see those are the commands. But this time I'm gonna say for CMD and commands, then I'm gonna just say a stream is equal. I'm going to just define OS. I did not define OS first. I'm going to Control C out of it, say import OS. Sorry, import, the typo is killing me. Import OS because of my keyboard. I have to replace my keyboard. It's stuck on some characters, and that's why it's typing like that. So you import OS, and then you say for commands and this, then you say OS stream is equal OS dot p open for pipe open, and then you say CMD. So we read it, and then you say output is equal, and then a stream dot read function, and then you use it as a function. Then here say run the command. This time we don't have to say the command is this and that. So I'm gonna just say print and f string, and then quote, brace, and then right here say produce the output right here. Print output. Okay. So this is good, and it tells you the pwd is giving you the this, and then the calendar give you this, and then the date is giving you that. And now if I want to do one thing, clear the screen, os.system, before I clear the screen, I could show you cat minus n cat minus n etc os pc os dash release. Sorry about my keyboard. And then you can see that it is working here. And then if I just change this one to any command like calendar 19070, the epoch calendar, just run that one. If I just change this one to a ps3 or process stream 3 of system D, it will just run that one. If I just say and give me this one, the pwdx of 1, it will tell you. Permission denied, you have to type in sudo here, and then just give you that one. So if I just say let's say my bash echo pstree $$. That would be my bash, my short shell. So here, if I say, give me the PS, and you tell yourself that you're born shell here. But if I say PS3 of this process, which is the bash 7289, you can see that it is giving a lot more structure there. And if I want to run the tree command from within the thing for, say, /var, for example, you could get a list of them like you want. So whether you do it from PowerShell or Node.js or anything, all of these commands, once you learn it on the OS level, you could play around with any API calls or programming or coding. All those functions are available there. Okay, so I'm going to Control-C out of it because var is really huge. I exit out of this Python, so you saw enough example of Python. Let's see what else I have here. On this one, I also covered Node.js, NPM, and NPX, and Visual Studio Code. So let's just cover Node.js and NPM and NPX. So Node.js is really cool. If you just go to my website, for example, I have written these videos for you. Let me just close this one. And I think I have this one. Did I kill the other session? I might have killed the session which I didn't want to kill. That one because that one was all my Zoom and everything. Hopefully it is not gonna die. Otherwise all my time was just spent for nothing. So here I'm gonna close this NASA website and then close Python. And this is the website I want to show you here. So if you just go to my website, by default, this is MyWebUniversity.com. I have the courses that you can learn from it, a lot of videos that you can watch these videos, and from zero to hero, the whole course is for free. You can learn a lot from it. This is Rocky, this is Bash scripting, this is our programming language. I don't want to just burden you with a lot of details of, you're welcome to watch it. There are thousands of things here that is very, very good for your college courses, developer stuff that I built it over years, so you could benefit it. For example, on the YouTube channel in English, you can see that I have 1.9K of videos. And these are all courses that I just showed you some of them here. And today I'm making number 3 of this one. Number 2 is already posted, number 1 is already posted. So when you go to videos, for example, you could watch all of these ones and right there. And then for your entertainment, sometimes I put soccer just for you to have a little bit fun, like a minute or two while you're just getting tired. So just watch those one at the same time, enjoy fun of it. I'm sometimes teaching something on the shorts for 1 minute that could tell you a lot. Like this video I just posted for, my son was in Italy, and then he was at the park trying to train for soccer, and a dog came in and watched him and just kind of like trying to get the ball from him. And then when you see the activity of him doing that one, basically the dog is trying to find out the pattern. I say this one is like AI kind of model, that the dog is, lovely dog is trying to find the pattern, recognizing the pattern recognition in order to win the ball. Eventually he contain it and then eventually he reads the pattern and just close in the gap and then win the ball. That's how sometimes predictions are happening in AI stuff to make the model, large language models, a good prediction. We are always scanning for these kind of things. So so you could watch those ones also for fun. But at the same time, if you go to the videos, there's a lot of videos here. I'm doing it. And then also on the Farsi version of it, I have MyWebUniversity-In-Farsi that I have a lot of videos here that you're welcome to watch them and learn from them. And then this was a picture of Kabul University. I never was able to attend because of the Russian there. They did not want us to go to university at the year that I graduated. But luckily, God was there and God helped me out. Thank God for everything that I have in my life. And God basically is merciful. And I could tell I couldn't attend college in Afghanistan to go to university to finish my engineering courses or college or degree, but I was able to do my computer science degree both for Bachelor of Science and Master of Science in Cal State University of United States, Fullerton. And then I have been teaching at the university level, and that's all God's willing. We say inshallah, which means if God's will, it will happen. Kun fayakun. And whatever God wants, it's gonna happen. Nobody can stop that. And that's the power of Almighty Allah. And then we are saying Alhamdulillah, all praise due to Allah. So this is the video that I make for YouTube in English. This video is for Farsi. Also, on my website, I also have the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, which is about 15 chapters. 15 chapters, each chapter gives you like a book kind of details. For example, on chapter 4, I was telling you about process stream 3. You can just come in on process stream 3 and click here and just get the output of it as if you're sitting in front of a Linux machine. So like here, process stream 3.1, this will just give you the output of system D, like I was just showing you that process here. So it is just exactly the same process, same output from the server, and all you get is the output on a browser. You don't have to be on a Linux machine. I give you the output on this one. Similarly, if you want to do manual pages, you can get here all the manual pages on HTML format here. So if you type and say, give me the pwdx, and I will just give you. Give me the pwd, I give you. Similarly, but if you want to just say, I just want to get more PDF version, so go to my main page, and then on the main page here, click on the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, and just come to dynamic generation of Linux Ubuntu, manual pages. I showed you chapter 4, chapter 3 is intermediate, chapter 2 is basic, and chapter 5 is shell programming. Each one of them I have made something for you. So I just was telling you about Python. You could search for Python and get all the documentation here. Like for example, type in Python here, and then you just get the documentation about Python and PDF. I just wrote this one, a Python program that will get the manual pages and text and convert it to PDF, and it puts it on the website for you. You don't have to buy books. You don't have to pay for storage. You don't have to pay for anything. All you need is a browser and internet access and the desire to learn. Everything else is on my website at MyWebUniversity, available for thousands of these ones. More than 100,000 of PDF files. I do it. On top of it, if you want millions, no problem. Just Control F here on your search and type in HTTPS. Now all the URL that are referenced on this one, I put it for you, so you could go to docs.python.org. Now you're there. If you say, well, can I just go Control F, HTTPS, python.org? Yes. Just click on it, and then you're on the python.org website. And then you go on the documentation here, and then read all of them, anything that you want. Library reference, click on it. Go to tutorials, and click on it. And then there's millions of books and references everywhere on the internet. Once you get to the internet, it's at your fingertips. So I told you that you can get anything. So just type in Node here, Node here. So when you type in Node, automatically I create you the node.js.pdf file here, and you say, okay, I could run Node here. That's great. But at the same time, can you do Control F here too? Yes. And then search for HTTPS, GitHub, and then one of 5. Just click here, nodejs.org, and then go here. The whole nodejs.org is there. How easy it is, right? And then you get documentation for it, go there. And then you say, well, this is good. I learned something. Can I just practice the stuff? Yes. Just go here and then look, for example, OS module. I just showed you the OS module on Python. Now let's look at OS module on PowerShell. I mean, on the Node.js. So here you practice it, CPUs and all of that one. So I'm going to just open on this one and know that if it's not there, I have to install it. So I'm gonna go on Linux and type in my password here. And then clear screen, which node is already installed. So that's good. I could say node here. Now I'm there and say os.cpus is a function, so I get all the CPU information. os.platform is a function, I just get the OS platform. os.type is a function, get this one. os.constant is constants, and now I tab it. Now notice constant, as soon as you type in a certain character, you tab, everything that matches is going to show you with the C. So I'm going to say constants, and then that's a variable it's going to tell you. OS dot maybe user info, and so tab user info is uppercase. You could type it in like that as a function. It gives you the parameters there. So that's how node is and there. I'm going to say exit out here, and I'm going to come back on Windows PowerShell, and let's see if we could run a node here. I'm going to exit out of Python here, say, and get dash command and node. So node is there, and it's Node.js. As you can see, the source is Node.js. And in order to install it, you go to nodejs.org, which is this website. You could just add on Node.js. We just went there with the .com, nodejs.org, and then all of these binaries are there. You could just click on downloads, and each version that you want to install it is for Windows, for Docker, for all of them, for Mac and everything. So you could just, for Linux, everything, you could just do download it and install it. But if you just install it already, like I have here on Windows, you just type in node and you will get into the node. Here, .help will give you all the arguments that are there. And then if you say, I know it, let's write a for statement. You say for, the for syntax would be like C and C++, kind of a site. For I is equal 0, I less than 10, and then I plus plus, and then brace, and then say here console.log, and say hello, and then just say comma I 1 2 3 0. So all of that, and say brace here, and then you can see it says hello that. But if you say, okay, on this one, let's just do os.cpu info CPUs. This one is giving you the CPU on the computer that I'm running as 11th generation Intel Core, like I was telling you there. os.user info. Notice this one is going to give me a different type of profile. User information, Wahid, and the home directory is C:. On the Linux side was /user/Wahid. Here is C:/user Wahid. And a lot of them, os.type is this, giving you the Windows entity. os.platform is going to give you a platform. And then earlier when I was going to Python, I wanted to show you something with sys module, which I loaded. I'm going to show you quickly on this one compared to the node. So os. What am I doing? os. Say tab, and you can see all of them. So if you say machine, and then it's going to give you the machine name. os.host name, it's going to give you the host name algorithm. If you exit out of here and say host name, it's going to tell you algorithm. And if you go to the Python and say import sys module, sys.version, you could see that give you the directory of sys module. It will tell you all the modules that are available, all the attributes, all the double underscore methods, all the properties and methods that are there, like prompt shell 1, prompt shell 2, or those variables that you could get as argv and argv2. So sys.path is going to give you the entire system path. Sys.version info, it will give you the version information. This is the Python version. Major is 3, minor is 12. So sys.platform, it tells you it's a Windows 32-bit. Sys.executable, it tells you the path of the Python stuff, the directory. So if I exit out of here and say get that command Python, you can see that the path is this. And then remember the other command that I was telling you about, the some methods with fless and other ones. You could do something similar like that. Say, okay, I get this one, but now fl star, and this is giving me a lot more information than I need, right? So the file and everything. So if I just say find the string /i and then say let's say exact, everything that matches with exact show me. That's like file name, path, all of that one with a path of this executable there. And then this one, whether you type in like that, say -- version, or just do it like this, it will get there. And if you exit out of this one, because that's in the path, echo env and $env colon path, it will show that the path is there. So all I could do is type in Python, it will give me that same thing. Then I do the directory and directory star, it will just do that. And if I just quit out of it, you could do quit or exit as a function, it will do the same thing. Clear screen and clear the screen. So now we showed you that one. We showed you Python on this one already. And then let's go to the next one, which is npm and npx. So we did cover Node and then npm and npx. npm I mentioned is Node Package Manager, and npx is stand for Node Package Executable for packages. So I'm going to show you on PowerShell first. When you use npm, if you type npm --help, it tells you that this is the arguments that you can pass on to npm install, the name of the package and there, and npm test, npm run, and then on my Linux, I'm using a lot of React and Vite stuff. So let me show you quickly that one. So a lot of web programming is very useful when you do programming on the web also. So if I go to my var .react directory here, and then ls -l, there's a prod directory here, cd to prod, prod, and then clear screen here. There's a file that I wrote called deploy5.sh. I'm just quickly show you deploy5. Deploy5. Every time I do that website to show you more, and so sudo and then I'm going to open that one as NVI improved version, so I can show you a little bit nice interface here. Let's see. Now you can see on line 1 is use a env bash, and then on the second line comments, third, fourth are common. It says my web university and is Vite in Apache web server, and then the directory where I started, and those paths are the where my React and prod stuff are there. Then I CD to that one, and if the CD fails, then I stop, exit out of the build. Otherwise, I say echo building React and then npm run. npm is the node package manager. In this case, I'm doing the build, run build. You can run test, or you can do run build or other option. And so echo build failed if I just the run does not run successfully. This is a or statement. If this one is succeeded, this one doesn't even execute. It's a shortcut. If it does fail, then it's going to execute this one and it exits out. Then backing up the current deployment. So I have to back up to make sure that the current environment is safe, that what it was working us to this point, I can restore it if there was something and the deployment failed. And so that's how you do it at safety. Then you could do an echo deploying the new build, copy RP, and then at this time, change honor the permissions of the file back to this one, and systemctl restore the Apache. But this npm run, it is basically doing an npm node package manager with run and build, and I'm all done. So how easy it is to just deploy my system out of this. And if I just come in, I run that dot slash deploy 5.sh and I'm done. So that is npm on that side. On the Linux, I'm going to show you on Windows here as an example, because that's not production, I'm not going to run it. But here I could say npm -- help. I told you that it is going to give you that. So I'm going to say cd user here. And if I just want to run npx, I could say npx and then say just run the fireworks. This is a package name called fireworks, and W is lowercase, but instead of O is 0. So when you run this one, depending on your graphic, you get the fireworks like that graphic there. But then if you just say, well, blue and yellow and the blue on it, it is not there. So what you could do is Control C out of this one, and then instead of this one, let's just right click here, click on setting, and then from here you just go to the color scheme, and then go to IBM here. IBM 5153, you click on it. This is a nicer color on the background. The fireworks will look good on black. So you could say, okay, set this one as default. You could set this one as default, and then right here it says copy, I believe. Let me just, save. And the Zoom was blocking it. So now I do that one. If I just open a new one, now it's a black screen here. Black screen, but this is okay. However, if I say like get-host, notice the coloring is good quality right here. So I'm going to get that one. I'm going to say npx fireworks. So let me type in with the lowercase, which is works, and then I run it, and right away it works. But if you type in, because it's case sensitive, if you type in with 0, I mean W uppercase, is not going to work. Control C out of it. I want to show you this one with W. It's case sensitive. It's going to say failed. So when you see this one, this package does not exist. This package, the package name is with W and lowercase. So be careful on that one. When you type it in, it works. So now I say, okay, that's good, it worked, but I want to see tested it with -- help to see what other arguments I can pass on. And then notice it says npx fireworks folder name and then loop. How many times you want to run it, and you can do hostname times of the animation or -1 to loop until you terminate it. So -1, if you just put the -1, that means you have to Control C to get out of it, right? So here, if I just say -1, it will just run that one. -1 is not there, but the folder is have to be there. So I'm going to say right here, fireworks also. That is just running that one with the -1 as a loop. The folder name is this. Notice if I Control C out of it, the syntax I provided here says run npx, which is node package executable. This executable says whether you have installed this one or not. I'm going to get this one locally or globally. I'm going to look for this package name, and then I'm looking at this package inside this, and then I loop it indefinitely. But if I say instead of fireworks, do fireplace, now the fireplace is going to just run as the fireplace. So that's a different package inside and the fireworks there, right? So you could just say the folder name in this case is fireworks or fireplace. So I'm going to Control C out of that one too. But this time, instead of running it there locally, I'm going to change this one to npm and say, okay, on this directory, I have a directory. I want to just create a directory, say make dir, and I call it a node and JS. Let's see, and the node.js is there, node and JS, I could call it. And then right here is empty. Now I say npm or node package manager. The reason I made that a directory to show you what files get added onto node modules and this and that, all of that. So npm install, and then I say fireworks. So I want to install that package. That package just got added here. Now I have these node modules, and because when you do npm, you just get created that file, and package.json is the content of it. So type package.json. This file is just basically says there's one dependency. The version is for fireworks is 1.1.1. That's all it is. And then this lock is happening, and then the directory that is actually the node modules is in here, modules. And then now if I say cd to node modules directory and see this one, then I say, oh yeah, fireworks is there, a directory here. Let's go in there, see what other things we can find it here. Notice that here, there's a fireworks directory also, and there's a fireplace directory. Depending on which folder you want to run, so I want to look at the fireplace directory. And here, all these files are kind of random numbers and random pictures on the text file. So this is what it is on this one. So if I say star8.text, let's say any numbers with 8, right? So I'm going to just say type 8.text. You can see it's 8.text is this. But this is just the image in terms of colors and those shapes and those ampersand and all of that. But how do you make this one running? So you could say, and instead of this 8.text, you could say npx fireworks and then this file, and that file did not work. So let me just see fireworks and then works. No, actually, this is fireplace. Fireplace, and then I'm going to say number 8. And you right away, you see the fire is there. So these are examples that you can play around with it. I'm not going to go through too much in detail on this one, but I'm going to go on. I could just leave this one. It's not going to burn my screen, so don't worry about it. But it's just pictures that is animation, that this is scary as if something is burning. But it is all so cozy and good for winter time. It's October. You can just feel good, warm. So right here, I'm going to do Visual Studio Code. We did it. PowerShell, we did it. Node.js, we did it. Oh, Visual Studio Code, we haven't done. So on Visual Studio Code, I could also open a terminal here and then say, run the Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to go to, let's say, programs files here, and then cd to PowerShell and there, and then look at these ones. So I could just do any PowerShell command. I don't have to do these ones. a PowerShell version or whatever. So you could also run it from here, the command line, like type gc.get host, and then syntax of this. This is basically doing git dash host. And then if I just run that one from the command line, you could say gc dash get host and then run it, and it will just run the command there. But if I want to just edit that one, I say code. Let me just say copy this file. I'm going to make it short. I'm going to say t1.ps1, test one, right? So I'm going to say code t1.ps1. Now we just created that file t1.ps1, and we're just going to say on vi, and notice I'm on code. Code is really good. So it has this file menu that you can work on. You could look at the directory that you want to open the directory. You could search, you could see the source control for CVS and other ones. You can see the extensions, run debug, and then see the extension here. And just for every module or programming language that you want to use, C, C++, C Sharp, Python, Java, Go language, there's an extension. So for example, for PowerShell, you just search for PowerShell, and then once you enable it, and then the PowerShell is there. So I did enable this one, and now it says uninstall. If I uninstall it, all the IntelliJ code, everything is gone. But I don't want to uninstall it, and then by clicking again, this one is there. So you also have these settings that you can change your theme, the colors, everything that you like. If I just close this one, I'm on this shell. Let's say on this one, I'm going to say run the command, get dash command, and then we'll followed by the command and say notepad plus plus. Just to get that one with forget about that syntax and other ones. I just want to show you a simple line here. So when you do this one, and then you just say, okay, go ahead, run this one. It is going to open and then run the notepad plus plus. Now, this is in debug mode. I don't have to be on this screen. It is okay. I could just see this, and the output is there. This terminal by default comes in, the ports are there, the outputs are there. And so you could get that terminal, and you can type in get dash host here or clear a screen. All the commands that you did on the terminal, it's working the same thing here. Okay, so date and everything, right? Get dash date is there, and get dash date, get members, and then you can get all the attributes and all that information. So if you just use the get dash date, like for example, as an object, you could say, give me only the year, and then I don't have to type in the get dash member anymore. I could get it and say here, give me the month, it will just give you the month. Give me the date, it will give you the date. Give me the hour, give you the hour. Give me the minute, it's give you the. So these one are uppercase. It's actually dot hour or dot not h dot hour, like that, and dot minute, minutes or minute, and it's going to tell you 42 seconds past midnight, and then dot seconds, obviously give you the second number of seconds, and every time you do the second, it just goes that fast. If I just keep doing, right? So there's a lot of commands you can just run it in PowerShell. Notice if you want to do it here or you want to do this one here. Let's say I say, let's do a for statement for each statement. I'm going to say PS, actually start dash process, and then I say notepad plus plus. First, let's see if we can run this one successfully, and then you run that one, and then see if a notepad plus plus comes in. So the path of notepad plus plus is not there. That's might not work. So I'm going to say run the notepad itself. Notepad. Oh, notepad. I put two of them. So let me just try it again. Okay, so I had mistyped it by 2 Ds. So when I corrected that one, Notepad comes in here. Now, if I just want to say whether I do it here or here, it will work. So I here say PS and Notepad plus plus. Now it's going to show this one. I am running it. I'm not gonna just start another one. So I comment this one, and now I want to see the process of it. And then the output is right here. So before I do this one, if I just say, go ahead on code and just clear the screen, we know that clear host will do that for us. And now the screen is more clear here. So at this time, if I just say, let me put the Notepad++ here on the side here, and then I'm gonna resize this one and have these two windows next to each other, so you can see both of them. And right here is the other one. So I'm gonna say, get the process and then kill it. So this process is gonna get it, which is this one, then do a stop dash process, which is the aliases kill. So let's run it, and then you can see the Notepad++ disappeared. Now, if I just say this one, I could do it on one line, and if I just don't do this one, comment this one, don't kill it, you could just say run this one, and then also show me the output of it. Say PS Notepad Notepad++. You could do that one and then run it here, and it will just spin it off, and it shows up the process right there. This is the process. So at the same time, I could do a where clause saying that if I didn't know the name of it, like for example, let's say change this one to start dash process to calculator. Okay, calc, the name is calculator app. So if I just do this one and then say PS calc, this is not going to work. Why? Because the name is not starting with calc. So let me just do this one and do this. Okay, so this one is there, and then it will start off the process calculator, and then I'm going to close this Notepad++ because we did it last time, kill it. You can do it also from the graphical interface. So clear host, and then clear host, I'm going to put it right above this one. And this one, I'm going to put it below that one. So clear host, and then start dash process calc. PS calc is going to fail here. Why? Because PS calc, actually this worked, and calc is also identified there because the name is calc here. But watch the difference here, that if I do it at the prompt here, clear screen, and I say cd clear screen here, and say start calc is going to start calculator, and I say this is going to fail when I do PS calc. Watch, this one is, I'm going to bring it here. This is the calc. It should show PS calc, and it's going to say I don't have that one. Why is not that there? What is the process of ID of this one? Because the name of this one is different. You say PS calculator app, it will be the name. So in order for me to find this name, if I didn't know the name was this one, you could say PS where clause, and then say $_name like, and then you say calc. So this is $_name is the PS item, which is .name is going to say this process that I'm running from all the list, one of them has the name which is matching like calc. Then this is going to just run, and it says this is the one you're looking for. And I say, yeah, that's the one that I'm looking for. Can you also do a kill on it? There you go, it's killed it. Now if I just run the same command, it's no longer there. So that's another thing. There's a lot of stuff with PS and other ones that I'm going to show you at another day. But code is very cool. It has a lot of stuff here. You could do a lot of things with the terminal. If you close the terminal, you could do control tilde and it will close the terminal for you. And do control tilde again, the terminal shows up. Here you could just type in clear screen, get dash command, get all the list of commands, everything that you do on the other one, you could do inside here there. So if you are running here, you can open terminal. And then if you say the font of this one, you could do control comma, and the setting opens up, comma, control setting, and then here say PowerShell font size, and right here the font size is currently 15. If you want to make it bigger, you say 17, and just change it, and now the font is gonna be bigger. If you want it lower, just change the font size lower. That's how easy it is. And now watch this one. If I just make this screen maximize right here, then when you change the font size here, if you go to open setting for JSON, just JSON stands for Java Script Object Notation. That's what that is. So it is all of the dictionary key pair values for it, including the editorial.font size. You can say my editorial default is there, and then the user information is here, is user words is Lutfy Wahidullah, and then the language Dari, which is for C. So you could change it here. Notice if I change the this one to say go make it 15, and then as soon as I change it here, I go back to the setting here and I reload this one, and notice this one is in place. Next time you click it, it's closed. You open it, it's 15. So if I just say, okay, on the setting PowerShell setting, sorry, font size, and then right away is 15. So let me just see why right here is 15. I should get the same number, right? So let me see why this one I'm gonna close, this one I'm gonna close. Oh, I had not saved it, that's why. Save it. Now it is there, and then do control comma, and then say there, the font size is already 50. So that's how easy it is to get it there. And then if you want a different theme for it, go under setting and just click on theme. And then you can just click on color theme. Some of the ones that I like is the GitHub. You could just get the GitHub or something else. The one that I had, my favorite one was that one. You can say dark theme, and you can change these themes as you go. Tips and tricks of Windows and Linux, and gets more and more. So it's your choice. And then GitHub Dark is this one, the one that I had. I'm going to stay with that one. Okay. So I will end this video here because I covered everything that I should have covered. And I hope you guys subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends and loved ones. You will benefit it, they will benefit it. You all are going to shine at your work, at your school, and everywhere you go by helping others and inspire other people. Take care. God bless you. And this is my channel at My Web University in English. If you're watching it, and if you're watching it in Farsi, this is my channel. And the book is all there. I was telling you that on the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, I just showed you chapter 4, but you could go intermediate chapter 3. There are Linux commands here that you could practice them and then watch the videos. You could do it. Similarly for chapter 2, you could do chapter 2, basic Linux. And God bless my brother, Dr. Aman Lutfy. He was a cardiologist at Kaiser Permanente for 50, surgeon actually. He helped me big time. He was a Nobel person. 2021, we unfortunately no longer have him with us. He is in heaven and best place in paradise, and was a Nobel person. On this day, I did my master's degree. I got my degree because he inspired me all my life, helped me all my life. he wanted to congratulate me on my master's degree at home. So that's when he gave me the certificate one more time and asked me to wear my clothes because I just came in from the university. So I was already ready. We had a very pleasant day, and he was the sunshine of my life, basically. And I miss him dearly. With that, I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys watch it, but if you need more documentation, go this page, technical documentation, for everything that I told you about Red Hat, Linux. There's thousands of documentation. For example, if you're looking at a Linux Red Hat, and you can click on this one, there's about 12,000 PDF file. All of them are here. Let's say you were looking for GCC, Control F here, search for GCC, and then if your GCC is not there, let's say Python is there, you could get the Python information here on Red Hat. So some of them I did not download the compiler, so I did not do it for Red Hat, but I am sure I did it for Ubuntu because I built my platform on that one. So Control F here, GCC, and you will see there's a lot of 1 of 25 of GCC. And GCC, the one that version is R11, and then let's see, yeah, right here, GCC 11.1 point this. There's a lot of different version of it, depending on which one you want to download. They're built from source, you can build it. This is like 576 pages of PDF. But at the same time, if you type in HTTPS, and then you can see openacc.org and website, you can do this one for supercomputing and TAC and supercomputing Gallica. We use it all the time there. So I'm going to stop this one. I could go on and on forever, and there's so much. One last thing that before I stop, actually, on this one, I showed you PowerShell, right? So you can go 7,513 command. So if you say, give me the get-host command, it is there, get-host. And then you just get the PDF, the documentation here, and you read it, the documentation in PDF format. I made all of this one with one Python program that generated hundreds of thousands of commands. You say, give me the command get dash process, for example, and then you see the process, get dash process there. So if you just click on it and get dash process comes in, you just open it, and then you could just start learning it. It's all of these commands, and if you know it, you just come in, you say PS is giving the command get dash process, give you the command, and then you say PS, and then say where command name is like node, and then you can see if there's no node. Let's see if there's code, and if there's no code, you can search for Zoom. One of these ones are there. Yeah, Zoom is there. And if you want to get all of them, just say get dash RPS itself. You get the list of them, all of the project process that are there. I'm going to close all of them and then stop recording. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.